With over one-third of its population living below the poverty line and a GDP per capita of just $1,300, the South Asian nation of Nepal is one of the poorest and least developed countries on earth. Nestled in the Himalayas, Nepal's varied topography means it is intensely vulnerable to climate change and natural disasters. Soil erosion, landslides, flash floods and earthquakes are common. A decade of bitter armed conflict and years of subsequent civil disorder have left a fragile political climate that only compounds the population's social vulnerability. And some 80% of Nepal's 27 million people are trapped in subsistence agriculture and relentless poverty. One reason for this trap is an acute lack of basic road access in rural Nepal. Roads mean access to education, to healthcare, to basic goods such as rice and firewood, and of course to markets. Without decent roads, negotiating the mountainous Nepali terrain is a time-consuming, sometimes treacherous affair on foot or by mule, and the resulting cost of transport pushes the price of basic commodities way beyond the reach of most. In remote regions, women are dying in childbirth before they can reach hospital. Children remain uneducated because they simply cannot get to school, and the latent value of the land remains untapped because there's little point in growing high-value crops that would perish long before they reached a market. But there is hope. Nepal's Rural Access Programme, a joint initiative from the governments of Nepal and UK, alleviates poverty for the country's poorest and most marginalised people using the rural road sector as an entry point. RAP, managed by a UK-based development consultancy, IMC Worldwide, has been building rural roads in remote regions of Nepal since the year 2000. Having built a total of 1,000 kilometres to date, the programme has also added strategic bridges and other vital rural infrastructure assets to its construction remit. And now, in its third phase, RAP is focusing on boosting local government's capacity to maintain those roads already built and on constructing new roads in the poorest districts of western Nepal. But perhaps what really sets RAP apart is the programme's holistic approach to improving the long-term livelihoods of the communities it works with. From the outset of each intervention, the community affected is empowered to manage the construction process itself and is facilitated in maximising the opportunities that new roads will provide. In essence, RAP aims to leave communities not just with new roads, but with the knowledge, skills and confidence to manage their own development in the future. RAP's disaster-resilient roads are built using environmentally sound and deliberately labour-intensive methods, meaning works generate significant employment among the local population. Typically, employees will be contracted for a 3-year period, during which time they will gain experience in governing their own programme as well as managing their present and future income. Labour is drawn from the most marginalised sectors of society, those usually excluded from fairly paid work. Dalits, traditionally regarded as untouchable, and other disadvantaged groups make up nearly the entire workforce, and women account for almost half. RAP's workers are encouraged to form groups for saving money and given guidance in managing them. The schemes are having a measurable impact in developing a savings habit among communities who have never before earned wages. The schemes also provide the seed money for intergroup lending, fixed interest loans which are a far cry from the exorbitant rates charged by the loan sharks so endemic in rural Nepal. These loans are often used to fund income generation initiatives which are facilitating the shift from subsistence to diversified farming. RAP is actively spearheading these initiatives, providing training for improving yield and diversity of crops through better management of land and livestock resources and for improving irrigation and supply chain infrastructure. A typical RAP region will see incomes increase by 220%, expenditure by 130% and agricultural yield by 200%. Transport costs plummet by an average of 300%, while school enrolment increases by around 80%. And the legacy doesn't stop there. RAP supports local people in forming and running cooperatives and producer groups to boost the long-term profitability of their farms. It actively works to boost local advocacy, providing communities with the knowledge and skills needed to access those government services they're entitled to, as well as the tools to apply for government grants and future investment. Indeed, RAP was honoured with a Global Road Achievement Award from the International Roads Federation for its outstanding work in the field of advocacy. Achieving this kind of impact is not easy, particularly in the post-conflict environment of Nepal with its frequent strikes and bouts of civil unrest. But RAP and IMC's long history in the country, together with the profound sense of ownership local communities feel for the programme, is making real change possible.